Because I will present in English, so I will try to slow down, okay? So, hello everyone. Here is Jasmine from Mobvista Business Development Team. Welcome to the second last speech of DeepGum today. So, in the previous long time, I've been so honored to working with many overseas developers to bring their products into China and gain success in this huge country. So, as everybody knows that China is an un-Euro market compared to other places in the global world. So it has the largest number of mobile users as well as the highest revenue of mobile games. At the same time, it is also in rapid growth. So China is a place with countless opportunities as well as many challenges. So if I was an overseas developer, what I want to know is how can I acquire users and gain success in this huge country and win my money back. So that's why I am here. After a long time studying in Chinese market, here I just want to share some of my experience about how can we win in this mysterious country. So let's just look at some big picture of this big market. So in 2018, as you can see here, 28% of all consumer spend on games came from Chinese market, which ranked the first one market in the global world, followed by US. And it is estimated that in the later 3 years, in 2021, the mobile games revenue come from China will reach to 29.4 billion US dollars. And takes up like 65% of total revenues in China. And this year in 2019, the mobile games generated by China is expected to reach like over 20 billion US dollars. And if we talk about some different kinds of games revenue in China, you will see that the role-playing games is also the largest, generates the largest revenue in China. Accounts for like 34% of total revenues in China. And with, driven by the game like Honor of Kings, mobile games also performed very well in China. It's ranked the second largest revenue in China now, and with 22% of games length. And also, casual games also have largest number of users in China with long time consuming. And but the players in casual games is not as willing as to pay as in other games. So all of these performances drove China to the first one market in the global world, followed by US. Even though for US, it still has a 3,000 billion US dollars gap in total revenues in games. So opportunities always come with challenges as well. As we all know, entering Chinese market is not easy for us. You will not only face the strong competition in Chinese market, but you also need to know what is really interested for Chinese people. And after dealing with some problems with the government, you also need to know the different user acquisition and monetization strategy in China. So, if we look at the best-selling games of iOS in China in 2018 last year, you will see the top 10 games all occupied by Tencent and NetEase games. They are all developed by Chinese developers. So these two giants, Tencent and NetEase games, took up over 70% of totally Chinese games market now. They are publishing a huge number of games every year, which just leaves limited space for other companies to survive. And moreover, some other game developers like 37 Interactive Entertainment, Kunlun, Kingnet, and so on, they also struggle out other space to survive in this huge market. So, as we all know, the first problem that we're gonna meet is the strong competition. But the second point is that we should know about what kind of games that Chinese people really like. Do they have a special taste? And having known about this issue, you will gain a better understanding of this market. So this is a very interesting story about Honor of Kings, this game. From publishing day till now, it generated totally $4.3 billion in Chinese market. And this data even excludes Chinese third-party Android platform data. But in America, it is totally a different story. It just generated like $7 million. This is just 0.2% of Chinese market. So how does it happen? We all know that there has been a large number of mobile game users in China already. From Tencent's last game, League of Legends. So move to the users to LOL to HOK is not a problem for Tencent. And secondly, moreover, if you look at these two videos, you will know how is the story happen. So as you see here, the heroes from HOK is all mostly come from Chinese ancient stories and tales, their style. So in the second video I want to show here is from HOK official account of TikTok. They used a very ancient Chinese music style to match the style of the ancient heroes in the game.
说装模作样在瞎掰，还是他们跟着心怀不开，人不知悔改，你无知会撒黑白，其实怀里是快，好人不敢来拆穿，死是来运转，实则在顶风走。抖音
And things always same things happen in other games as well. This is some other games like Fantasy Westward Journey. This is also a very popular game in China. It ranked like the second best-selling game in 2018 in China. And this game is adapted from a very famous Chinese mythology, Journey to the West.
零落飘兮，遮住日落西，做一回断肠的故事。台剧画面如此的美丽，殊不知是谁的魔笔。
And also another game, 楚留香. This game is adapted from a Chinese ancient tale. So let's just have a look.
我看见誓言，承诺在水天之间。
喝了这里的水，你就能忘却我们之间的情感。此生契阔，与子成说。
我们一定要这样吗？
对不起，我终于实现了自己的抱负，可是我的身边不再有你。
其实我一直在这里等一个人。
抖音
Oh. And another game. This game names Fire Like the Sun. This game is adapted from a Chinese drama. Yeah, and you also use the Chinese celebrity to promote this game in the market. It's like a movie actually.
势必要受天谴。不愿意。
And if we look back into American style, there will be a totally different story. Clash of Clans and Guns of Glories, they are also both very popular and successful games in US. They are ranked like nearly 10 to 20 best-selling games in US, and they are with the style of Western style, and they are all in simulation games mode. So to summarize, you will notice that Chinese people will prefer RPG games actually with some Chinese Asian stories heroes. But American people will prefer simulation games with the Western style. That's quite obvious to distinguish. And after knowing about what Chinese people really like, you also need to deal with some problems with the government. So you also need to get some special documents to get access to advertising in China. If you want to advertise in social media marketing platform in China, you will be required to submit this software copyright document as a really important proof of copyright authorization. And because you will need a Chinese company to prepare this document for you, the business registration certification of this Chinese company is also will be needed. I've heard that many companies they're getting stuck in this process when they enter in Chinese market. But actually, to be honest, I should say this is actually a really easy step to go, because actually Mobvista can help you to do this. And what you need to really concern is the different UA and monetization strategy in China. Because we all know the main UA media like Facebook, like Google, Snapchat, Twitter, this all banned in China. So what you should use is Chinese domestic traffic. It's like, for example, Tencent includes WeChat and QQ, and ByteDance include TikTok, which is very popular in China, and also Toutiao News, and also Weibo and Baidu, kind of this platform. This platform takes up like 77% of total usage time in China. That is huge. And same things happen in monetization platform. Actually, in China, the biggest monetization platform of Facebook is totally blocked in China. And what takes place is what take place is Chinese domestic monetization platform. For example, the TikTok audience network, the name is 穿山甲, and the others like Baidu and Tencent network. And also the best performing video channels monetization platform, Mintegro. So it seems like we have these 4 difficulties would be like 4 mountains in front of us when we enter Chinese market on the road. There will be a strong competition in this market, and of course the unique characteristic, and also the special policy and different user acquisition and monetization strategy. So it seems like we have several big barriers when entering this market, but do we have any chances, and do we have like just some space to go into this market? The answer is definitely yes. I would like to recommend 2 ways to gain success in China. First, you should use Chinese social media platform, and also you should use Chinese monetization platform as well. So how does it happen? For games like RPG and SLG games with high in-app purchasing, it is very sad that you cannot avoid competition in China. You know, competing directly with Chinese domestic developer is really not a wise way. What you should do is to do testing. To put a game into some easy ways, easy channels like Mintegro, like Unity, to know about whether your game is suitable for Chinese market. It is good because you don't need to offer special Chinese documents. You don't need to offer a high cost. And the good thing is that you can get a really valuable result that to get the answer if your game is suitable. So no matter how fierce the competition is, only if you can prove your game can be possible to gain profit in China, you can have the chance to enlarge the performance. I would like to call the last step as make breakthroughs from 0 to 1. And the next step would be make miracles from 1 to infinity. So this is time for the social media marketing in China to perform. Actually, because it takes up like 77% of all traffic in China, so it will help you generate more than 10 to 30 more users in China. And so here I want to share some story about PlayCard. Actually, PlayCard, the game Age of Magic, has just released 1 year ago, around May or June. And when they just released, they tested it on Mintegro, on Unity, and they found that Chinese market could be a very strategic targeting place and with huge potential of profit. So they started to run ads on social media platform in China from September. And when it started, you can see the data showed here, the volume of Age of Magic has risen by 10 times. And the ranking trend, you can see here, the ranking of Age of Magic has grown from like 1,000 to 100 in best-selling games in China. And of course, this is why the miracle is created. But first of all, it is definitely a perfect game. So this is some videos. And this second video is made by Mobvista at that time. Yeah, so this is having known about heavy games works, and if you are casual games, things are gonna change. So the good thing is you will have less competition in casual games in China. If you take a look at the top 100 best-selling games in China, you will find that 33 will be in casual games. And the interesting thing is the 19 games are developed by overseas companies. Yeah, there will be like Voodoo, Rovio, and Playrix, and so on. And also, casual games have large user coverage in China. The penetration of casual games in China is around 50%. So it is easy that if you are developing casual games, congratulations that you have already passed the first barrier, competition. So what you should do is to use the right domestic Chinese monetization platform. So before saying about this, I would like to show a number. Imagine that you can get $20 eCPM in China. How do you think? We will think it is a low value or a high value. Actually, yeah. So this is quite a number. It's a quite normal number, a bit of lower than some publishers. So like I mentioned before, China has its own domestic monetization platform. The biggest one will be TikTok Audience Network. Its eCPM can reach 35 to 50 US dollar in China. And with the advertising fueling rate of 80% to 90%. And Mintigrow, its eCPM can reach like 50 to 20 US dollar with 50 or 60% of advertising fueling rate. So if you are casual games, work like a Chinese developer and use Chinese way. Only in this way you can succeed in China. So to summarize, you know that I would like just to recommend these two strategies for you, how you can gain success in China. If you are a heavy games developer with high in-app purchasing, it'll be good that you can use Chinese social media. If you are not sure about your result, do test firstly. Make the first step and prove yourself, and then use Chinese social media to enlarge the performance. And if you are a casual games developer with monetization, you should only way that you can succeed is just to use Chinese monetization platform. Yeah. So to finalize, I know that entering China is not an easy thing for us, but we can have the way to make it. After my long time working with many overseas developers struggling in China, this experience that I shared today, I really hope that it can help you on the road to succeed in China. So let's make it in this mysterious country. Thank you. If you have any questions, you can post it here or go to our booth G5 to do a consultation. Yeah, thanks.
Are there any questions? Any at all? Okay. I need to stand somewhere where the light doesn't. Okay, that's nice. So I will ask a question.
Yeah.
So as far as I understood, there are like the casual games. It's quite hard to win the player because the players don't really play the casual games, but the competition is smaller. But if you're an RPG, there are a lot of players, but the competition is high.
Yeah.
So that's correct. Maybe there are like a lot of genres like the battle. Not only the casual games, not only the mid-core games. Maybe there are some trends for you to see that some of the game designers may start to make a game and hype on that hype train for some emerging genres which are only starting to begin being popular in China.
So I mean that if you are not casual games as well as the RPG games, how you can do that, right?
Mm-hmm. No, you have no games, but maybe there are some trends in China, and
okay.
Which would you recommend to make?
Actually, I would like to depart into two ways actually, because it's different. It's really different in these two ways. If you are to decide to make the revenue in app purchasing, it will be going the first way. If you are willing to generate by monetization, it will go in that way. It's not the difference of what kind of games. It's the difference of how you can make money in China. That's it. So it's not the business. It's not the thing about what kind of games that you're gonna. And I would recommend. So I would recommend that just follow your own way. Just to develop games and use your own way to generate revenue. That's
So
it.
it's like you would recommend more like business approach.
Yeah.
Think about how
that's
to
it.
make games, and after that, just to figure out how these types of games can make money in China, right?
Yeah. Actually, for example, Playcard, this style, how can I say, is like in the past, it's really like just a few games similar like this. We actually, when we, as a Chinese people, when we just first saw this game, we don't know that how it's gonna perform in Chinese market. Because it's like kind of magic style. Maybe Chinese people would not like this, but they can do this because of their their perfect scenery in the game, and also their perfect design of the the business model. So that's it. It's not about like the style. It's not about like the kind of. It's about how you can win money. Yeah.